Hello everyone, Farron Manuel here, Director of the Black Art in America Foundation, also curator here at BAIA. Today I'm going to be talking to you all about Give Us the Sun, featuring works by Traci Mims. It's our first solo show in the space, and we actually connected with Traci during the Fine Art Print Fair this past August, and we were just amazed by her versatility, the dynamic narratives found in her work. So she's got these large-scale charcoal drawings, woodblock prints, where she actually goes in further and does color reduction. She's also a quilt maker and a painter, and sometimes she crosses over with these different mediums. So in the display of charcoal and graphite drawings, Traci highlights herself in these two self-portraits where she has these really in-depth details into her face, into her mood, using herself as the everywoman and sometimes as a representative of community, and also sometimes just representing her thoughts and reflecting herself and how she's feeling or responding to different moments in the world and in society. Thinking about the George Floyd protests, prior protests, and also social dynamics that lead to moments like that in the world. Highlighting protests by using eyes as a symbol for people, also eyes as a symbol for what we see, and people looking and perceiving her work as an artist. She has this self-portrait where she's doing somewhat of a deep contemplation about the world in that moment. So this piece was done in 2021, and she highlights herself sitting, reflecting in solitude, where she's wearing a shirt that says human race, and they're protesting people, symbolic people around her. And she's got symbols in there like stars, stripes, picket signs, reminders of history, reminders of the present. And she's also wearing this little Basquiat earring to just kind of let the viewer know, and I'm also an artist in the midst of all of this. And what does that mean for her? So it's a really deep and reflective piece that you can see a glimpse of Traci Mims, the artist. Then you have these two large-scale drawings of monumental figures. So she's featuring Muhammad Ali and Nelson Mandela, both who were professional boxers. Actually, a lot of people don't know that Nelson Mandela boxed professionally. He has an official record of 18-0. So he was a professional boxer in South Africa, going through his sojourn and becoming the president of South Africa in the anti-apartheid movement, blended into a background of natural plant life, fruit, and this piece is titled Blessed Be the Fruit, just to spun this narrative about growth. There's inspiration in Nina Simone's Strange Fruit. Some of the pieces of fruit in the image are unripened, some are bruised and damaged, and some are fully ripened. And she's thinking on this as a concept and highlighting these two monumental figures. And within the body of these figures, you can see other comrades, other activists and people that were a part of the journey towards civil rights and the journey of the anti-apartheid movement within these figures, to establish a narrative and highlight what was going on in the world as these two great men were competing in professional sports like boxing, and also speaking out against these atrocities on the world stage. We also have examples of Traci Mims printmaking. She recently won the Atlanta Biennial for printmaking, and with the piece titled Youth, an example of her color reduction woodblock technique. That's where a printmaker carves into a woodblock in a traditional manner, and then additional carving are done to include more color into the print. So a lot of planning, working in negative space, and conceiving what the final image is going to look like with the use of color and how many layers are going to go into the printmaking process. This piece directly behind me, titled Flowers for Their Stripes, is one of the newer pieces that was created specifically for this exhibit. Flowers for Their Stripes highlights Fannie Lou Hamer, Ella Baker, and they're waving a flag of Harriet Tubman to just show an inspiration and a lineage of Black women from this country who've advocated on our behalf and been major parts of reforming the society and making change in the world, making positive change in the world. So, in this work, Traci's highlighting some unsung sheroes in this color reduction block. And the print being displayed with the block provides for a very helpful educational tool about printmaking, but also with the wood blocks being displayed, we get to show a great piece of art that's usually kept in the printmaker studio, which really has enabled us to demystify the printmaking process. She likes to incorporate elements of the printmaking process. So in this quilt, you have portraits of Fred Hampton and Huey P. Newton done with a woodblock printing technique. And then she's somewhat collaged different patterns together around these pieces, or quilted these different patterns together around these pieces, and went in and stitched over the faces, just exploring the possibilities of mixing mediums and also pushing established mediums beyond their boundaries. With the salon wall, as a curatorial strategy, I really wanted to highlight Traci's various approaches to printmaking, and also note how she even includes some of her quilt making processes into the printmaking medium on paper. So in some of her self-portraits, she's weaved in and stitched in prints from other bodies of work, prints of different images like roses, even the eyes that she uses as a symbol for people and perception into the work. We also wanted to display some of her paintings. So with Transcendence, you have this image of a mother and child. You have these different layers, prisms, lenses that are implied through her use of lines. And those additions into the piece really will get you thinking about the different perspectives on a moment like that, and how to appreciate those moments between a mother and child, and that love between a mother and child, and putting that in conversation with this piece titled Say His Name, featuring Keenan Anderson, that also has some of her collaging and printmaking added into it with some gradations of color to kind of blend it together. But she's highlighting Keenan Anderson, and a great image of him as a portrait, a very dignified portrait of Keenan, who's a school teacher, and that was slain by police and sparked protests out in California. And she's also highlighting protest moments in history that are connected to Keenan's story. So we really have some great examples in the show that highlight Traci as a great draftswoman, with her charcoal and pencil drawings, highlighting her paintings, her quilt making, her printmaking, and how she navigates these processes and even weaves them together and goes beyond what people are familiar with as established mediums. And with her kind of just crossing the lines to make the images and the materials align with her vision.